Alright, for this week's physics week 2 preview videos, some of the main physics ideas we're talking about Newton's second law, and it's more about the velocity side and how velocity relates to force. So just some of the things about Newton's second law would be that the velocity over the change in velocity over the change in time would equal the net force over mass, and that actually change in velocity over change in time actually turns out to be acceleration. And something that I didn't know, just like something how it all connected together, was how using the equation of change in velocity over change of time equals force net over mass, I realized that the reason why force is measured in newtons is because if you multiply mass from each side, the units would become kilograms times mass over a second squared, which is the same as newtons, and that's something I never realized. And then I guess something else I also never realized was that I always assumed that all the forces were included in the net force, but something I didn't account for was that we don't count forces from the surroundings. We only count forces from the system. And then just some stuff I already knew were some basic stuff like how forces are just a push or pull, systems just what we're focusing on, and surroundings is just everything around it. Mass is just how much matter there is to measure. Force arrows show magnitude and direction. And then there was something in lecture that really sparked my curiosity, and it would be just how the video started talking about laws, theories, and principles of nature. And this is also really interesting because this is also something I learned about in Chem 1301. So talked about like what a law and a theory really is. And I guess just something how it relates to my own area of study. Just as an electrical engineer, there's a lot of research that has to be done, and just a lot of the research that we discover also relates to certain theories that we might develop about just circuits that we might have. Also, I think just a lot of things about force we're going to have to calculate in the electrical engineering field as well. And then some of the topics that seem the most confusing or difficult for me, I wouldn't necessarily say it was the physics in general, but it was more about using tracker, and just use tracker for our physics lab, because that's something I'm still not really sure about. Just for the tracker, specifically the part about the video analysis of constant velocity motion. And this is something I actually looked into more because I want to make sure I was prepared for the labs. I did follow up with it, and then so some of the supplemental resources I did to help me figure it out was using actually the tracker app information. So I was able to find information about how to use tracker, and then I also looked at some YouTube videos of past students at other colleges using tracker to do their labs. And I also watched the preview videos as well, so those were very helpful as well. And just to end off this video, just some additional things to add would be some things that are just being reviewed, because I took physics 1 before, but just how like velocity final is the net force over mass times the change of time plus the initial velocity. Just velocity equals displacement over time, something basic. In order to calculate displacement, you just do velocity times the time. Iteration is about making the small predictions into the future, which is also like coding iterations. And that sums up my week 2 preview video.